All right. Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. Wouldn't you say that Elon Musk is looking like a tired and broken man these days? This is a recent photo. Now, I get the tired. Hey, I'm tired bringing you these videos every day. Who isn't tired? It's not as if people don't work as hard as he is, even though he's got many companies. But what could be the reason for him looking so broken these days? Well, let's get into some headlines. Tesla keeps getting worse in Europe despite electric car sales surging. So I reported on this the other day, but obviously this is not the only thing. Sales going down in Europe, and I've looked into reasons for this. We saw the salutes and the far right politics and everything, but this too, Tesla sales fall 87% in Quebec and Canada as its market gets wiped out. That's just today's headline for similar reasons. Obviously, him being close to the Trump administration, Canadians seeing and boycotting Tesla. The boycotts are having a big impact, I think. And this as well, Tesla is losing money insuring its own cars. So Tesla not doing well financially with, the declining sales and things like this, where they're not making money on insurance. And this, though, Tesla targets 12 June launch for robotaxi service in Austin, Bloomberg News report. So they put a date on it. So that could be a bright spot. And Tesla investors think it's a bright spot given that the sales are going down, but the stock is going up. So they're putting a lot of stock, so to speak, in this robotaxi launch. However, this report too, which I did do a video on, Tesla full self-driving veers off-road, flips car and scary crash driver couldn't prevent. So that is just very recently with the most recent software or close to it, presumably similar to what they're using in Austin. So is it ready? Things like this, it would say not, but we've seen reports that they're going to use teleoperation there, heavily teleoperated, heavily geofenced to make a kind of show of it working, but really, is it ready? So this could be another reason for Elon looking pretty broken. His software isn't working after saying next year, next year, next year for so long, and it doesn't seem to be quite ready yet, but that remains to be seen. We'll see when the launch comes, and I'll be bringing that to you here to see how that goes. But this too, two Tesla insiders close to Elon Musk just sold almost 200 million worth of stocks, and that includes the chair of the board. Some people say she might be on the way out, Robin Denholm. She sold 95% of the stock that she's had in Tesla for the whole time she's been there long term. Could she be on the way out, selling right before, this robo-taxi launch, which is supposed to make the company lots of profits, be super profitable, and just be wildly successful to save the company from declining sales? Is this going to happen? Why would these insiders be selling? Yes, they do get allocations, but they've just been selling them as soon as they can get them, it seems. And this too, competition. The Europe numbers, part of having significant competition there. Now you've got European car makers, you've got Chinese car makers allowed in there. As I keep saying, Chinese car makers are allowed here where I am in New Zealand and in Australia too, and in other places, just not in the US. So the Chinese competition is significant, and they've really started a price war there. BYD starts a new EV price war in China. So not only Europe, but in China as well. And this too, BYD's new CL06 EV leaks with 375 miles range. So that's pretty good. BYD seems to keep coming out with these new models while Tesla is sort of stagnating. They've got this update of the Model Y, which doesn't seem to be selling that well, really. That was the big hope, but really it's just a refresh while companies like BYD and others are bringing out new models. Here's another company from China also. Xpeng launches its new AI-powered Mona MO3 Max BEV in China for under $20,000. So that's obviously the key there, $20,000. And the Xpeng cars do have a competitor to the Model Y too. So it's not just BYD, it's a very competitive market. So we've got Europe in trouble there for Tesla. We've got China with maximum intense competition. And where it remains to be seen what's happening in the US. We saw what's happening in Canada. And also, is Elon broken by Doge at the same time? Like, we all remember this. Remember, guns blazing, or rather, chainsaws.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Yes, Special K is a hell of a drug, but what happened after that? Look, his popularity went way down, as I've shown this poll a couple of times now. Do Americans have a favorable or unfavorable view of Elon Musk? And we can see that, when Trump started his term, Elon started doing Doge, his popularity went way down. I don't think that he really thought that was going to happen, but it did. And so that coincided with the Tesla boycott, Tesla protest, Tesla sales. He did his best to counter that, really getting angry at the public, it seemed, and his own buyers. And he said recently that they'll make it up with selling to MAGA people, selling to people on the right. But will that really happen? And so he seems to be pulling back. We've got this here. Let's listen
to Elon Musk saying he will spend significantly less time in Washington and step back from his work with Doge, as Tesla reported a more than 70% decline in profit for the first 3 months of the year.
Yes, a big decline in profits. We're going to get more into Doge and what's going on there, and Elon's popularity going way down. But if you're getting value out of this episode so far, I really appreciate it. If you remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people, it really does help in a big way. Thanks. And so this is a recent interview too, where Elon's talking about his political spending. And in this video, he does also look pretty defeated, pretty broken, you'd have to say.
I wondered whether you have decided yet how much you're going to spend on the upcoming midterms. Is it you spent a lot more money on the last US election than you envisaged when you were speaking here 3 years ago? Are you going to continue to spend at that kind of level on future elections?
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
He can't see a reason. Maybe it's something to do with his popularity going down. Sometimes I wonder, he's talking about cutting back on spending, cutting back from Doge. Is it he's trying to win back some of his other customers? I mean, he's got a long way to go. He really went down that far-right politics route, and all of the stuff that he's done that's made him unpopular, he still spouts far-right political stuff. I mean, I've called it neo-fascist, and I really think it is. And it's not just those salutes. He's backed it up with a lot of far-right political stuff. And now, most recently, we have this criticism of Trump's bill. So really, has he gone out of favor, or is he doing this on purpose, to, as I said, to try and win back some of his core customers, because they see that Tesla is going down the drain, circling the drain, as a headline in the video yesterday. Is he trying to prevent that from happening? And is that the reason he's feeling so tired, sleeping on the factory floor and all that stuff that he said? But a whistleblower said that that was always BS, that he was doing that. It was just another line. I mean, a lot of people work hard.
So, I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, like, everything he's done on DOGE gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big, or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it could be both. My personal opinion.
Okay, so he's disagreeing with Trump, the Trump bill here. This is going to ruffle some feathers, I think. Could this be a sign that the relationship is on the wane between Elon and Trump and the administration? I mean, documenting this, I was skeptical of that he's still doing things behind the scenes. As I said, could he be trying to win back favor with the public? With his criticism of the big ugly bill, let's look at what Elon actually means when he's criticizing what they're actually spending on, or some of it anyway.
But let's just run through some of the numbers that we're talking about there. So over $4 trillion tax cut, depending on which organization you look at, that number could be significantly higher. Hundreds of billions of dollars to beef up border security. $2.3 trillion added to the deficit. We've got $150 billion, remember, also being added to the military budget. So whatever doggy has managed to cut has been swallowed up many, many times over, just with more xenophobic spending. That's it.
Yes, indeed. So those things really, as he said, they really swamp any kind of Doge cuts, even though they were proven mostly to be BS. And Elon he really got the public angry with some of those cuts. He's talking about cutting Social Security. It was a Ponzi scheme. All USA is sending it to the wood chipper, he said. That was when it was at the height of the cutting with the chainsaw and probably on Special K doing it, having fun. So it's going to be a long way to come back from that. And even Trump, he was asked about this, what Elon said, and he didn't even mention Elon by name. He didn't outright criticize him, but it seems like he's moving on from this. He wants his bill to get through, well, no matter what Elon thinks of it. So, I can't complain when the neo-fascists are fighting each other behind the scenes, and I think that's what both of them are. That's what I've talked about on the Politics channel. But let's see what Trump is saying about this.
Mr. President, Elon Musk in a television interview criticized the one big, beautiful bill, saying he was disappointed it didn't cut enough, essentially, that it undercut the DOGE efforts. What's your reaction to that?
Well, the reaction's a lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill. But the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say, the level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to. We'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country. Remember, we have 0 Democrat votes because they're bad people. There's something wrong with them. So that means we have to get almost all Republican votes. And I think we're very close to doing that.
So in there he said we can't be cutting, which is what Doge is doing. But then he said the big tax cuts which have to be paid for, and Elon does benefit from that. It's really a tax cut for the very rich, like 0.1%, not even 1%, the 0.1% it looks like it's going to be. So, really the cuts that Doge were making was supposed to help pay for this, but they haven't really done much, and Elon's complaining about it. So really, it's all just politics. And speaking of politics, I have started the Politics channel. If you haven't checked that out, this is the latest video over there. If that's your cup of tea, if you're curious about this, put a link in the pinned comment and the description as well. But right now, I'm going to put a related video right there. Do go and see that now if you want to. And also a subscribe link on screen as always. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, do subscribe to get more of these videos from me in the future. I'm doing them every day. Yes, it's tiring, but I want to keep up with doing this news. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.